What does this deck even gain from red if you take out stuff like the Skullcrack? Like, honestly, I don't quite understand what it's supposed to do, because the lands don't skew red. So putting in stuff like Fire Goblin isn't particularly good. I mean, because I took out my buddy. I took out my Cunning Spark Mage. Because he just didn't seem to be doing enough for me. But there's not... I mean, I guess Raid Bombardment's not terrible in this deck, because like everything that I would make is a 2/2 unless it's Chasm Skulker. But Raid Bombardment's going to make you sad 9 times out of 10 when you draw it in a deck like this. So I honestly don't know. I mean, do I start putting Bolt in? Or am I just looking for reasons to splash red when there are none? Like, is there really no reason to splash red? Do I just go farther blue? Do I just put more blue in? Because I've got 3 open slots. So do the 3 open slots equate to just putting in some more bounce or the other negates? I mean, that's... Why does everybody love putting red in with this deck? Because I understand that the Gutter Snipe is one of your win cons. I absolutely understand that. It makes perfect sense to me. I get it. But then you're aggro. Or am I supposed to be aggro? Is it supposed to be Gutter Snipe, Talrand, but then like goblins, like little goblins, and speed? Is that what it's supposed to be at that point? Like, am I taking it too far into the control territory? But then why the fuck do I even have Gutter Snipe in that instance? Because I'm only using it for bounce and shock. So I feel like that's not the case at all. But you look through here and you're like, what are the good sorceries or whatever that we could use? I mean, it's cards at random, so Burning Inquiry is useless. Because it doesn't even restock your hand. Kiln Fiend I'm not a fan of at all. I mean, I guess that's what you're supposed to put in here, though, is Kiln Fiend. You know, I might just put in a couple copies of Anger of the Gods, because even though I have the 2/2, you know, sometimes I need to wipe the field because I have a control pile, and if I know it's coming, that puts me in the driver's seat. I mean, it's like saying that no deck should run Wog when Wrath of God is one of the strongest cards printed. You know, that effect, Damnation, all of that is super strong. But then we're once again in this really awkward place that I find myself in every time I try and put this deck together, where I've got just this random one of that I can pop in. And then I always find myself coming back to the exact same place, and I don't know why, because it's so weird to just have one of these Voyage's Ends in there. It's so goddamn strange. I don't understand why I do it, but that's what happens every time I put this deck together. You guys, I don't know. I don't know. This deck, she is a temptress. She should be better than she is. So, you know, I looked over some of the advice. I haven't answered you guys' comments, but you're like, take out Skullcrack, which we can't sideboard in this game, so it's like a weird way to go about it, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, it's 5 damage for 2 mana, though, in this deck, and that's not counting the Sphinx Beaumonts that I've never seen. But 5 damage for 2 mana is apeshit. I mean, that's insane. But I understand that that's not exactly what we're going for. That's not exactly where we're at in our mind space, but that card is 5 damage, 3 damage for 2 mana on a bad day, shuts down the life gain piles on a good day. And like, that is value to me. I mean, that is a lot of different stuff going on there. It's generating, it's like it's its own sideboard card, because why isn't 3 damage for 2 mana is good? It's cost effective. This guy's talking, so never mind. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's try and find a game here. Let's try and find a game. To figure out what... I like Skullcrack, but for some reason every time I've drawn it... And then the Cunning Spark Mage was just not getting me where I felt like I wanted to go. Even though the poke effect... I don't know. I feel like it might just be me trying to put Cunning Spark Mage in a deck, which I do a lot. I like Cunning Spark Mage. I want him in a deck. I want him to work better than he does, but he doesn't quite get where you need to be ever. And the fact that this thing draws so atrociously is really fairly garbage. But this is... God damn, you guys, this is not very... You know, I think there's a much more interesting version of this deck that I'm not putting together that I want to. And I think that's the actual problem, is that, like, I'm hampering myself by, you know, I've got the nullifies and things because I love control. You guys know that I love control. But I think that's not what I want this deck to be. I think I want Gutter Snipe out there, but I want friends. I want, like, a friendly group of dudes out there having a good time, I think is what I want. And I think me putting the Anger of the Gods... I think we're getting farther away what I want. Because let's talk about this. Like, what if I put in something like Raid Bombardment? I had my Gutter Snipes. I had my Cunning Spark Mages. I had my Shocks. I had my blue card draw. That's kind of a rad deck, don't you think? I mean, that kind of sounds good to me. Now, this guy has 2 blue showing, so we can counter anything that I want to do. We did draw the second Cunning Spark Mage, which is kind of nice, but we can also just sit on our asses and utilize the Think Twice. Maybe even Shock his Nug, but the Shock gets a way more apeshit with the Gutter Snipes active, of course, so. But I'm just going to draw my card and see what happens here. There's no real reason not to, because I can play these Gutter Snipes. He could counter. That could not have worked out better, because now he no longer has creature counters open. I'm going to rip a blue man off the top of this pile. Never mind, that's absolutely fine with me. That'll work too. That'll work too, because here's Gutter Snipe, and I have a Shock open. So I can Shock his face, 4 damage, just like that. It's just that easy. Vapor Snag, hey, guess what? Shock players your face. Might as well. 4 damage to you. 4 damage all day. So that works out pretty well. I think that other deck, because I haven't seen anything like that, but then we do put in our weird shit like the Kiln Fiends, you know, because I'm not a fan of Kiln Fiend, but when it's like that, when you got a Kiln Fiend in there, and you've got, what's its nuts, Raid Bombardment or whatever, then your opponent's like, oh shit, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to try and take care of. So this guy's got the counter open. Okay, you and I both know that he's got the counter open. And we're a little sad about that. I'm going to show this 2 mana up. He's only got 4 cards in hand. We're going to eat a counter here. It's going to suck dick. Yeah, dissolve all day. He does get that, though. We're going to freeze him out here and just, like, be like, oh, I could counter this, but I'm not. He gets to scry, which fucking sucks. I really, like, Nullify I don't like as much as Negate. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that really gets in your nuts in this game... I like Negate. I like the counter suite that's Negate, and that's a problem. That's a big problem. There's a big Inferno Titan shaped problem that I now have. I don't have any way to deal with this either, which is kind of issue. Oh, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm going to lose this. But born out of this loss, I think, is a nugget of an idea for a deck that is going to be much better. Is this guy everything but white? I believe he is. I believe he is. I mean, there's a small chance that I could get the nuts together to RFG this Inferno Titan, but he would have to be tapped down in order for that to happen, because if he counters any portion of it, I'm in trouble. He can also tap down Fire Breathe and just take me to 4 right here, but he's not because he's got other stuff to play. Yeah, this is really disconcerting. There's really nothing I can do once this Inferno Titan hits. Yeah, that was a good game. That's really all I can say to this gentleman. Is GG. I desperately want to leave because I'm just kind of wasting my life here. I don't even want to play this deck anymore. But I guess I can't really do that. Yeah, because I can't even... Like, I get an Inspiration, and then I can hope it's a land and Vapor Snag, but it wasn't. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing I can do. Player's that guy, because I'd have to get rid of it anyway. But I lose this turn regardless. The only thing that could have really happened there is if I'd drawn a blue land and a Vapor Snag. That's really all that could have happened. But There's no sense in not doing the inspiration. See, now this guy's just playing a bunch of bullshit now. There's no reason for this at all. And obviously Nullify was the counter that we needed. See, like, why is all this happening? Why am I the dick if I leave the room right now? Well, you know what? I'm not. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to sit there for 45 minutes for this guy to just play a bunch of bullshit. I guess I didn't have to shock him in the face, but I would have had to discard the card. It would have taken just as much time out of both of our lives if I did that. I'm just going to create a brand new deck here. I'm going to get in here and mess around with this for a minute. We're going to see what takes shape, and then I'm going to touch base with you guys in a second here, and we'll reconvene then. You know what, guys? Let's do this together. Let's do this as a family, like we were intended to. Let's start out with what we want from blue, because actually what ends up happening in this particular build is that blue ends up being quite a bit skinnier than it was. You know, we always throw Quicken in to begin with, but we don't have room for like Vapor Snags, and we don't have room for all the weird bullshit here, because I really just want to put in card draw this guy, and yeah, fuck it. That's not a terrible idea. Guard Gomazoa is not a terrible idea in this particular build, depending on what we do. You know, depending on what we do. We'll have to see. Put this guy in here. We'll take that guy out. That guy doesn't need to be in here. Oh my god, you guys. This might be playtesting for my Pick My Poison this month. This could be where we're at. Because this feels like it might actually end up being that deck. So right away, we already know we're not going to need that. Put the Biden in because we're going to have a lot of creatures. Is this guy unblockable? Can't he? I will not be blocked. Interesting. Well, this already looks like a lot more fun than the deck I was running yesterday. So I'm going to put in weird stuff like this. You know, red is going to be the generous lover in this scenario. And it's just going to give and give and give. Okay, so we put those guys in. We'll put Anger of the Gods, because why the fuck not? Gutter Snipe all day. That goes without saying. We're already past where we're going to be as far as... So see, the interesting thing is that once I put this Raid Bombardment in, this fucker can attack 2, depending on what goes on. So that, I feel like, is the real nut goblin of this whole thing. And I think that'll work out pretty well. You know what? I don't want to fuck too much with high drops. I like being right at 4 because I think we're going to try and win as quickly as possible. Have kind of our killing stroke be like Raid Bombardment and stuff like that. Meaning that I don't think we need... Correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think we really need this guy, but I want to play with him. I haven't played with him before, so I think that'll be fun. What are some other things that we can target guys with, though? Yeah, because we don't want stuff like Fur of the Bitten and stuff like that. We just want, like, instants, sorceries, things like that. Whoa, Skullcrack. That's not what I thought I had selected. I like this. Inferno Fist actually isn't bad, but it's an enchantment, so it doesn't super gel with what we're trying to do. Oh, Fling actually is not bad either in this deck. This guy, I mean, now I'm just throwing crazy shit in here, and we're going to see what happens. But how many spells do we actually have? Well, 38 spells, it says, which is pretty nice. I think that still makes Kiln Fiend viable. But we're not going to keep all these, obviously. We're probably going to take out the Guard Gomazoas. But let me tell you guys something. I want to keep some of my secrets deep within myself. So I'm going to fix the mana and cut this thing down, and then I'll see you back in battle. Alright, everybody, let's see how this thing does. I've made a lot of changes to that fat stack that I had, obviously. Obviously, we weren't going to do a lot with that thing. This is just abhorrently bad. I'll work with this. I mean, this sucks balls, but I'll work with it. It's the Shocks and the Goblin Arsonist that did it for me, because I've got an awful lot of control and a very, like, thin hand. There's not a lot going on here. But between the Goblin Arsonist and the 2 Shocks in hand, I can probably wait around to get some other playables. So I'm already like looking in here. Fling is cool when you think about what we're trying to do, but I think that definitely gets taken out. Maybe for some bounce or something a little bit more control-y in that vein. Coordinated Assault's pretty cool here because I can kill this life gainer without any problem. I can also just shock that life gainer. This is going to be the day that I needed Skullcrack and I didn't have it around. Let's see if we get to attack. I mean, this will suck. But we'll see what happens. I kind of want to just do one here. Yeah, I was hoping I'd just do one here. Alright, so now I'm open for the shock. If he tries to, like, Nimbius Wings or something on this Vampire, we'll be able to do something there. But we do have to shock something this turn because I don't want to throw any of the cards. Well, I guess I could throw away the Fling. Yeah, and this is working out pretty damn good. Now, I don't need more than 1 mana. I can do this with 1 mana all day. I would like more than 1 mana. Let's be clear, I'd like 2 more mana to jump out of the pile. Hey, slowly but surely. Very slowly. About as slow as humanly possible. And that's what I was saying. I mean, I've got an awful lot of control in my hand. Once I play the Gutter Snipes, I'll be able to start doing stuff with the Coordinated Assaults. Yeah, I think maybe Fling should go, even though it's pretty cool because it's going to be like, you know, 4 damage if I got just a Gutter Snipe out there, and it scales, obviously, according to what else I have. But I don't really have anything with super huge attack. Fling doesn't work particularly well with, like, a Raid Bombardment strategy. Wow. Wow. As slow as humanly possible. But we'll get there eventually. If I draw a wake land, like a wake up land, like something that just comes down and is ready to go next turn, I'll be able to play my Gutter Snipe and shock or Coordinated Assault accordingly. If you fling this guy, I don't know. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do. I'm going to shock the ever-loving dick off of that 2/2. Okay, so that was kind of the last one that I could force, though. The last issue that I could force. And now, we're unfortunately in a really, really weird spot. Our mana base is rock solid. Like, I've got, like, all my land can produce either a blue or a red, so there's not really anything that I'm worried about. But I would like to see at least one more, because I'm going to be laying Gutter Snipes every single turn. Because this guy is only 2 mana off of a board wipe, which would kind of blister my nuggets. I would not enjoy that. Sanguine Bond. I would really love mana here because Gutter Snipe and Coordinated Assault would be insane. Raid Bombardment also works. Raid Bombardment definitely works in my favor here. It's going to trigger twice. That's 5 damage on the turn. That takes me to 11. But if I get the mana, then I can Gutter Snipe and utilize Coordinated Assault, which is going to do 4. I mean, Coordinated Assault would be 1 mana, 6 damage right there, just from the what it is generating. So that's very strong. I do like this deck. We're going to take the Fling out and maybe put something else in here. That could open up some more mana, because we are really thin on mana. I think I ended up coming down to, like... This kind of sucks. I don't know. He's got a lot of lands left. There's a lot of bullshit he can do. Okay, so this is not good. So I definitely need my 1 more land here off the top of my pile. He's only got 2 cards in hand. If I can withstand this, I'm going to be okay. That is exactly what I wanted to see. We're going to play this. Then we're going to play this Gutter Snipe. And we're going to get to work. This is exactly what we needed. He might not block. We're still going to use the Coordinated Assault, I think. Well, no, I guess I don't need to. If he doesn't block, though, it's just so much damage that I'm generating. He could block my Gutter Snipe here. I'd almost be surprised if he didn't block the Gutter Snipe, because it looks like a free kill on that Gutter Snipe, right? He's thinking about it. I mean, I guess I'll let this ride. I got to be kind of worried at this point, though. For sure. There's a chance that I get to play this third gutter snipe and then coordinated assault, though, which would be just about it, because I'd be attacking in with the 3 of them. I mean, that'd be really strong. So I don't use the coordinated assault on the defensive, rather. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that could happen here. I could just about win this next turn, because let's see. I'll have another gutter snipe out. Coordinated assault would do 3 damage, or 6 damage right there. Another Sanguine Bond, but he doesn't have anything to do. That was a wasted turn. I'm going to take this 4 damage on the chin. I don't even care. I'd be surprised if he attacks after spending an entire turn playing that Sanguine Bond. I don't agree with anything that's happening right now. I don't think this is very well thought out. I mean, he's probably got the math all figured out so he can kill me next turn, but shit, if I draw another land, don't I just win? Or can I fling and win? What all do I need to do here? So if I play this gutter snipe, we need to take a second to figure out. So if I use both coordinated assaults, that's 4, that's 8. Yeah, both coordinated assaults just win here. Because one coordinated assault is 2 damage, that's 4 damage. So times 2, that's 8. And then you add 4 to that, right? Let's actually do this. I'm trying to make it entertaining for you guys, and math is never entertaining, but fuck it. So that's 8, and then you've got 2 and 2. That's 4 and 4. That's 8 again. That's 16. Yeah, we win right here. It's fine. Unless he can do something to kill these guys. But we've got the raid bombardment going off. I mean, it's overkill, isn't it? At a certain point. And then we coordinated assault this guy and this guy. And then they go off. And that takes him to 7. And that's 6, 7. That's even right there. Yeah. It's fine with me. Yep. That'll work. Thumbs up. That worked really well. I mean, that deck pretty much did everything that it was supposed to do. I can't really imagine it working better than that, to be honest with you. I think we'll take the fling out, obviously, and put that away, but other than that, I think that deck really showed up. There's a lot of fun things we could put in there instead of the fling, so I'm excited to get in there and kind of retool that deck a little bit. That's an interesting build. Definitely let me know what you think of that one down in the comments, because I'm eager to hear what you guys have to say about it. It's a strange one. I don't think I've seen that out in the wild anywhere before, but fling definitely does not gel with everything else we're trying to do, especially with the raid bombardment. So thank you very much for watching, you guys. I hope to hear from you down in the comments, but even if I don't, I want to thank you again for checking out the video. Let you know that you can check out the Patreon. There's a bunch of fun stuff going on there with rewards and stuff, and those are going to be starting up very soon. You guys should hear from me tomorrow or Thursday at the latest, and we'll start touching base on everything there and just getting that rolling right along in a happy and fun explosion of joy for us both. Thanks for watching.